Elio guys, and welcome back. So hopefully you have already checked out my basics video for this game, 70s Grand Cross. But in today's video I want to take a more in-depth look at characters just to give people a better feel of what characters are and basically what's going on with the UI and your characters in and of themselves. So without further ado though, let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright, so here's just the Heroes tab. Of course, you guys are going to see my heroes right here. For example purposes, I will go with this chick over here. And over here on the screen is just the UI of essentially everything that's going on here. So going from left to right, this is just her ranking right now, which is ultra rare. As you're seeing characters up, depending on what rank they were before, it'll obviously raise up, and that will change as their level goes up via Ascension. This just shows her amount to her next level, which her cap right now is 60. Once she gets her limit break, she can go to 65, which will be nice. This is the Awaken tab, which we'll go into that later. Her attribute is Strength type, so there's 3 different types, I believe, for each character. Correct me if I'm wrong, but there's 3 different types for each character, and the one that I happened to pull was the Strength version of her. She's human. This is her CP, her overall CP. This is her attack, and 2k defense and 42k HP. So she actually has a decent amount of HP, a decent amount of attack, but she is pretty much just glass cannon standard attacker, which is perfectly fine. Next up is the Affinity level, not Infinity, but her Affinity level goes up with whatever dishes that you give her, and also the ale that you can get once every day from the tavern. So don't forget that, boys, you can get that once every day. And once you get up to the max, you can actually change out her costume, I believe. Yeah, this gives her a cosmetic item which can be added to her, which plus 1% lifesteal isn't much, but hey man, it's pretty much free regardless of the investment in it. And I do believe as well, correct me again if I'm wrong, but if you max out the Infinity for one character, that means the RGB of this character, if I pulled a green version or a blue version of her, is still going to get the same benefits from her having max Affinity. So max Affinity for one character only, regardless of element, and you should have them all. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but that is something to look forward to, of maxing that out just for additional stats being added. Next up is the skills, which is absolutely 100% important. So this can help you get a sense of what your character's good at and what they're bad at. So for her first skill, she has Killer Minds. We can hit the preview tab to see the animation of it. Then her second skill is Killer Minds buffed up, and of course this is if it's at 3 stars. The maximum amount of damage you can do is 400% of her base attack, and then it cancels buff instances. Her second move over here is just Shot Bombs, which inflicts damage equal to 180% of attack to one enemy, and Ignite lasts for 3 turns. This one at full capacity, which is 3 stars, removes stances, equals 400% of her attack, and applies 2 Ignite effects for 4 turns, which is disgusting, absolutely disgusting. And then this one over here is just her ult, which is Chain Explosion, and this changes if there's a character that she is partnered with as well, which gives us a different look to the skill in itself. And obviously you can see the boost in damage as well, so you definitely want that guy in there as well. I don't know his name because I'm not worthy of the anime, but that obviously increases her damage as well. And then her unique skill is basically the leader skill. So once you hit a certain cap for your CP, which is 16,000, you can then fight against an NPC, and if you can beat that NPC, it'll obviously unlock this unique skill, which obviously activates depending on the situation. So different characters have different unique skills. This is known in other games as leader skills, and only one can be in effect at a time, especially in a battle. So keep that in mind and make sure you pick out the best unique skill that you can depending on your characters for whatever that you're running, because that can do or die in terms of content, which I need to do after this video. Next up is the Enhance tab. Obviously the fastest way to level a character up isn't through grinding, it's through doing certain stages to get XP experience potions. So I mean, obviously with something like this, she's already max level with just one of those, but I don't really need it right now, so I'm just gonna chill with that. And in case you guys don't know, leveling in this game is probably number 1 the most important thing that you can do for your character in terms of damage. Ascension would be second in that category, and then leveling once again. Next up over here is a limit break tab, which if you get the correct ingredients, she can now go to a maximum of level 65, which again just boosts her stats more, makes her damage go up, overall better survivability. It's just a good time. It's just something that you should aim for when you can. Over here is the Awaken tab, which we saw earlier, where she only has 1 star, so you can do a maximum of 6 stars, and if you hit certain criteria, which is certain items, you can increase the stats of your characters, which is wonderful. I absolutely love that. I love that her ranking isn't tied to her stars, because it's very annoying where, oh dude, I have to pull a 5-star whatever to get through whatever, or oh wow dude, you only have a 4-star version of her, blah blah blah. Like, it's just not fun. But this is another way to increase stats, and as you can see, each Awaken adds different stats to her. Like, it's not all the same. This doesn't all give me freaking defense. This doesn't all give me just HP. It's different additions to her stats, which are great, and this applies to any character, especially that last one, dude. 600 attack. That is absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And if you're going to use a character for a long time, it's definitely worth the investment. We can get around to it. Next up is her ultimate move. If you pull dupes of her, then obviously you can increase the damage of her ult. You will need at least 5 minimum, I believe, in order to get that to level 6, which is a lot, but this isn't game breaking. I mean, yes, it increases your damage of your ult. It increases it. Yeah, but I don't find that game breaking at this point in time unless you somehow get 6 dupes and her ult does like 2 million damage. I mean, it's just something nice to have, especially as a failsafe for dupes that you can use to increase her damage with, or if you want to feed another element into this one because the other elements, in your opinion or in someone else's opinion, isn't that great. Feel free to take those weaker versions of her, dump it in here, and boost the damage up on the one that matters, because not all units of every element is going to be optimal. That's not how it works. If everything was OP, there'd be no point in pulling other things or having different versions of that character, because everything's OP. Next up is the equipment tab though. I mainly just do the auto equipped over here. Like, I'll come to remove equipment sometimes, and I don't have enough storage right now, so rest in peace to that. But I do remove equipment and just auto equipment, and the game tries its best to give you the best sets that it can. Obviously some aren't optimal, but mainly you want your attackers to have more attack if possible. Defense does work as well, and that's pretty much it for the equipment, which you can also increase the damage that they give. You can increase not only the attack but the HP and defense of each of your equipment through the enhancing part of it. And then there's also Awakening, which requires Awakening Stones, which adds different stats to your equipment, so different substats on your equipment, which is nice to have. And then last but not least is just the closet, where different looks of the same character, which majority of this is from the cash shop, or as you can see, from evolving the hero, but majority of this is from the cash shop except for that one. So 3 of these are from the cash shop, and the other ones you get just from evolving the character. And you can see what type of additions that the costumes add to your character. So I mean, there's a little bit tweaks here and there, nothing incredible, nothing game breaking at the moment until they decide to make it game breaking, but you know, it's nice to have. Same thing with weapons. And then cosmetics, obviously you can just change the look to make your baby girl look different than someone else's. And you can feel free to mix and match and change her suit however you want it. If you prefer this look on her, you can change it to this one. If you prefer this look, you can change it to that one. Same thing for your weapons and cosmetics. So it adds a different flavor to your character. We're not all running the exact same unit. I mean, we are technically running the exact same unit, but at least it looks different. At least it looks the way that you want it to look. And I mean, there's pretty much nothing else to be mad about. But that's pretty much a more in-depth breakdown of a character and what to look for in the UI and what to focus on. And if you can take anything from this video, it's obviously read your character skills first, because the character that you might have pulled that is at level 1 and sucks, if you actually read the skills and realize, oh, I've actually if I actually level this unit up, they're actually pretty good, can save you a lot of trouble. But I definitely hope this video helped. If I missed anything, feel free to leave a comment below. If you guys have a favorite character already, feel free to leave a comment below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.